Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is problem 3474. Lexicographically smallest generated string. This is a tricky, hard one, or at least it was for me, so next I will show you how to solve this step by step. We're given two strings of length n and m respectively, so let's say that we're given these two strings. And we need to form a word of size n plus m minus 1. Here n is 4, m is 2, so 4 plus 2 minus 1 is 5. We need to form a string with 5 characters. Now, the characters in string number 1 can be either D or F. If we find T, this means that we need to use string number 2 from the current index in the final word. So let's say that we are iterating string number 1 from left to right and we find the first T. This means that from this index, we need to use string number 2. Here we have A, B. Here we have another T at index 0, 1, 2. So we go to the final word at index 2, which corresponds to this position. And from here, we need to use string number 2. So here we put A, B. Now, if we find an F, this means that the substring from that index to the right with the size of string number 2 has to be different to what we have in string number 2. For example, here we have an F at index 1, meaning here. This means that this and the next characters have to be different to AB, okay? This substring has to be different to string number 2. Here we have BA, which is different from AB, so we are good to go. Here we have another F at index 3, so we are looking at this position. And we know that these two characters have to be different to AB. This substring starts with B, so here we could use A, B, C, and so on, any character. Now the thing is that we need to return the lexicographically smallest string. So in this case, we should try A first. And if we put an A, now these two characters are different to these two characters, so we can use A. The result in this case is this word. If it's impossible to generate a valid string with this logic, we return an empty string instead. So as you can see, we can have overlapping substrings. If we have this, we start with this T, and here we could use A, B, C. We have to use this because this is true. Next we are here and this is false. We are at index 1 and this is false. We are looking at these 3 characters now. We know that these 3 characters have to be different to these 3 characters. So maybe we could use an A here. But now we have a problem because this is a T. We are looking at index 2. We are looking at this substring with these 3 characters. These 3 characters have to be equal to ABC now. But here we have C, A, and an empty space. So we will never be able to get ABC. So the first observation here is that instead of trying to build the entire string at once, first we can fill the substrings that we have to use, meaning all the truths, and then we go with the false. So first we can fill the word with the substrings that we have to use, meaning we can look at T's, and then we can look at F's. So first we are here, this is the first T. We have to use ABC starting from 0, so here we put ABC. We have no choice here. Next, here we have a T at index 2, so we're looking at these 3 characters. We need to put this string here, but this is impossible because the current substring starts with C and this starts with A. So at this point, we need to return an empty string. Now, what if string number 2 is AB now? And we do exactly the same. We are iterating only T's, so we start with this one. We have to use AB from index 0, so here we put A and here we put B. Next, from index 2, we have to use AB, and these 2 spaces are empty, so here we put A and here we put B. And now, all we need to do is look at F's. And let's say that we have 2 more F's. We need to fill these 3 empty spaces. And we need to return the lexicographically smallest string. This means that we can try with A. And if this is possible, well, this is the result. So the next step here is to check if this is valid for the f's that we are given. First, we are here at index 1, meaning we are here, and we are checking if this is different to what we have here. BA is different to AB, so we are good to go. We can continue with the next f, which is here at index 0, 1, 2, 3. So we are looking at this index. These two characters have to be different to these two, and they are, so we can continue. Next, we are looking at index 4. We are here. So we are looking at these two characters and they are different to AB, so we can continue. Next, we are at index 5. So we are looking at these two characters and they are different to AB, so we can continue. The result in this case is this word. Now let's say that we're given this input. String number 2 is BB, and we have a true at index 0, so these two characters should be BB. Next, we have another T at index 2, so this is B and this is B. And here we could start with A, because remember once again that we are trying to get the lexicographically smallest string. Now we need to check if this word is valid for this logic. So we are iterating only f's. We start from index 1 and we know that these two characters have to be different to what we have here. So maybe you're thinking about changing this to A, for example. But this is wrong because at index 2 we have a T. This means that these two characters have to be equal to these two characters. So how can we handle this? Well, we can have an array of booleans to keep track of the positions that we have already used. When we are iterating this, we are changing these booleans to true. First, we have a T at index 0, so this is true and this is true, because the length of the current substring is 2. Next, we have another T at index 2, so this is true and this is true. Okay? We are looking at these two characters because this string has a length of 2. So now if we are iterating f's only, we have 1 at index 1, meaning we are looking at the substring, and these two characters should be different to these two. But here we have two truths, meaning we can't change any of these two characters. So at this point, we can return an empty string. And finally, what if we're given this input? String number 2 is AA and we have TFF. First, we iterate this T. So given that this has the length of 2, we are looking at this substring. And this should be equal to AA. So here we put A, here we put A. And we are using these two positions, so this is now true and this is now true. Now here we have two empty spaces, so maybe we can fill this with A's. So now we can iterate f's. We start from index 1, meaning from here we are looking at these two characters. These two characters have to be different to AA, but they are equal. So we should try to change one of these. Given that this is true, we can't change this one, but this is false, so we can change this. And if this is an A, and we can change this, we are trying to get the lexicographically smallest string, well, we should change this to a B. Now these two characters are different to these two characters, and we can continue with the next F. This is at index 2, so we are looking at these two characters, and these two characters have to be different to AA. Given that they are different, the result in this case is this. Now let's step back for a moment. Let's say that we have already iterated this T. Now we are trying A's here, and we are about to iterate the first F. So we are at index 1 looking at these two characters, and they have to be different to AA. Now we are about to change one of these characters, and if we change one character, we are using a B, and B is greater than A. This means that if we change any character in the current substring, we should change the rightmost character, because we are trying to get the lexicographically smallest string. So what we are doing every time is iterating the current substring from right to left, and whenever we find one character that we can change, well, we change it to B. That's how we get the lexicographically smallest string. This is a very important observation. Time complexity here is big O of nm, because we have to iterate every character in string number 1, and from each of these we have to iterate the corresponding length for string number 2. And space complexity is big O of n plus m, because this is required for these data structures. So with this in mind, now let's see how to code this up, and hopefully you will get the idea. First, we can say that n and m are the length of string number 1 and the length of string number 2. And we have a result which is an array with a times n plus m minus 1. We need an array for the positions that we already used. This is an array where every value is false initially, and this is times the same size, n plus m minus 1. And now we can iterate every index in string number 1. So for I in range n, we are checking if string number 1 at I is equal to t. Remember that first we are iterating only t's. In this case, we say for j in range from I to I plus m, we are iterating the substring with a length of m every time. And we say if we have already used the current position and what we have in the result at this position is different to what we should have, meaning string number 2 at j minus I, well, in this case we can return an empty string right away. Why? Well, because this is a t, so we should have the exact same characters. If we have different characters and we have already used the current position, we return an empty string. If we are here, this means that the characters are equal, or we have not used the current position yet. So we can say result j is equal to string number 2 at j minus I, and we can set used at j to true. Okay. Now we can iterate only letter f. So for I in range n, every time we check if string number 1 at I is equal to f, well, in this case, we need to check if the characters in the current substring are all equal to the characters in string number 2, because if they are equal, well, we should try to change one character. So if all, and here we take result at j equals string 2 at j minus I for j in range from I to I plus m, okay, if they are all equal, well, then we need to try to change one character. So we can have a boolean here, mismatch, which is initially false. And now we say for j in range from I plus m minus 1. Remember that we go in reverse, because if we change a character, we are going from A to B, and we are trying to get the lexicographically smallest string. And given that B is greater than A, well, we should go from right to left. So here we say I minus 1, minus 1. And now we check if not used j. Well, this means that we can change these characters, so result j is equal to lowercase b. And we can set mismatch to true. We can break this loop, and here we can check if not mismatch, we return an empty string right away, because this means that every character in the current substring is equal to every character in string number 2, and we were not able to change any of the characters, so in this case we return an empty string because the current character in string number 1 was f. These two strings have to be different. Now, after doing this, we can go here and return this showing result. So this is the entire code. Now let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's efficient. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.